Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. You clicked on to the long-range weather forecast discussion for April 14th to 28th. Before I get to the forecast, I want to look at a few things. We're going to look at the predicted snowfall. Here we are heading towards mid-April, and there's still a chance of snow here. Over the next 5 days, it's where it's supposed to fall, and we'll get to that. Okay, we're going to look at the period for April 14th to the 18th. And we have a zone of flow predicted across much of the country with below normal heights across Canada and the northern states. You can see right here. And we have above normal heights forecast across the southern states and in the east. As the period begins, we will have a strong system exiting through the upper Midwest, just spreading snow. Still a system coming into the west, spreading snowfall here across this region here. And the system will send a cold front through the east. You see it here exiting the region. Behind the system, there will be lower amplitude flow. So as we get later into the period, here you're at the 14th. See how amplified it is? Then we go to the 18th, the flow starts to flatten. The Pacific energy will track to the west during the weekend and into the plains early next week. So we'll take a look at our Pacific system. Here's our Pacific system coming in and then into the plains by Sunday and eastward. And the system is expected to produce another round of precipitation for the northern and eastern states. And you can see as the cold front comes in, you see we have a front here. We're going to look now at the period for April 19th to the 23rd. Some amplitude in the flow is forecast with the ridge in the west and trough in the east. Now we have other influences on the pattern will be the MJO and NAO. So here we're going to look at the, here is the NOA. The European, the other day it was MJO yesterday, largely favor the neutral phase for the next 10 days. This favors a negative NAO pattern, but it won't be a typical NOA pattern. Now, we're going to take a look at the GFS. Do I have that? Oh, this is the GFS. Okay. Here's the NAO. The earliest it favors at least becoming neutral or even positive with very little grouping in the negative phase. The MJO and NAO teleconnection are not in agreement with each other. Either two things can occur during this pattern. The MJO will continue to influence as it has and has kept the negative NAO pattern more negative, or the MJO will lose its influence as another global teleconnection takes over, allowing the NAO to either become neutral or even positive. Given that the MJO influence is also tied to the stretched polar vortex earlier this month, and that most of the polar vortex influence events tend to have a window of 3 weeks of keeping the pattern in the Atlantic favoring a negative NAO. It looks like the NAO being negative through at least April 20th during this period, and probably for the rest of the month. This lines up with cooler air masses across the eastern states. So with that said, we're going to look at the period for this forecast period. I'm calling for above normal temperatures here, and I'm calling for anomalies of 2 to 4 degrees above normal. Below normal temperatures are forecast here, and I'm calling for anomalies of 4 to 8 degrees below normal with the highest anomalies across this area here. And for precipitation, below normal precipitation forecast here, and the probability of occurrence is 35%, above normal precipitation here, with the probability of occurrence 35 to 45%. Looking ahead for the period March 24th to 28th. There'll be the flow is flatter. A flatter flow is expected than it was in the previous period, and we have below normal heights that retreat into Canada. And we have above normal heights across much of the nation. Something like this. So for this forecast period, I'm calling for below normal temperatures here, calling for numbers of 4 to 6 degrees below normal, above normal temperatures forecast here, with anomalies of 4 to 8 degrees above normal. And for precipitation, calling for a little change in the precipitation anomalies. That's the long range weather forecast discussion for April 14th to 28th. Thanks for coming, Jim Mullins World of Weather, and have a good day.